Donald Trump is something totally different.
Chris, I think you identify the tariffs as the number one issue. Liberation Day, probably the most consequential day of the first 100 days. Is there an exit strategy for Donald Trump on this? We heard Reince Priebus say basically he's going to double down, but can he make this sort of series of deals that limit the damage?
Well, it depends on what those deals look like, George. And I will tell you that if you look at the reaction of the rest of the world, the biggest problem is that the world now just sees us as an unreliable partner.
Right.
And Donald Trump, I believe, misevaluated that. I think he thought he could come in and bully them and just say, we're the biggest economy in the world, and you may not like what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. What he didn't count on was the effect it's had on the bond market as well. And the problem there is that we're now looking at a real potential for stagflation, to have an economy that is in recession, which we're one quarter towards that now. We had a recessionary report in the last quarter.
Although the job market was the report on Friday was pretty solid.
Right, so we'll see, but we'll see whether that translates, George, into GDP growth or not. We don't know whether it will or it won't. We'll see next quarter. I hope it does, because that'd be good for everybody. But in the end, what most economists are now saying, and business leaders are saying, is that we're headed towards stagflation, which we haven't had for a long time. And he didn't run on that.
And Reince, one of the things you talk to business executives over the last several weeks since Liberation Day, and you get the sense that